Hello, YouTube modeling community. This is Rusty Rotor. We've got a past build Wednesday and a quick update on the 58. I'm going to go over a couple things on that real quick. I will be doing a second video on the 58 when I go to do the wires. I'll show you how I do the color choices, how I feed the wires in, and secure them. That video will be long, just so you know in advance. It'll probably be about a 45-minute video because you just don't rush it. And I'm not going to rush it just to get it in under 15 or 20 minutes. Or even 10 minutes for that matter. So just be, aware in advance. Set some time aside before you watch it. It will be about, 45 minutes, maybe even a little longer. I'll try to have everything prepped and ready prior to. That'll save a few minutes. But today's past build. This was a gift from a coworker. He had got it when he was a younger kid. And he still is a younger man. He was in his 20s. His name was Sean. And it's back when I first started up, so it's been about 5 years ago. Maybe almost 6. And I asked everybody at work if they'd like to start a little club, get together once a month, and work on the model for like an hour, and then have a meeting for about an hour. And there was a few guys that were into it. Then it kind of fizzled out. So, and I figured it would. With everybody at work all the time seeing each other, nobody wants to see each other after work. So I just went on my own, and I found Instagram and started meeting a lot of people that way. When I started this, I had bought some stuff from Michael's and Hobby Lobby because I couldn't afford the aftermarket stuff at the time. I could. It was just one of those things like, I was just picking and choosing what I could buy. With this one, I did purchase an aftermarket distributor, pre-wired. My vision, I lost the picture to this car. I'd seen it, so I didn't get a lot of angles or anything of it, but it just looked like a really cool car to me. And I was like, well, I'll try to, paint it. And, well, the color, I couldn't find the exact color. So I had to settle for a different color. And it turned out, I don't know. I don't like it. Let's put it that way. So I am going to seek out a new decal set for this car. The body is not attached. And I'm going to redo the engine compartment. This won't be a complete makeover. I'll probably leave the interior alone because I'm happy with that. Because it's box stock. It's what came with it, and everything. The interior went together really good. The kit overall was a really good kit. It's a AMT. It's probably an early 90s, maybe mid 90s release. The box is buried, so I can't get to it. It's a Mach 1. I can't remember the year, if it's a 69 or 70. It's a 1/25th scale. Is that right? Yeah, 1/25th scale. So it's a little smaller, actually, in a complete size. If I set it next to another, 1/24th scale Mustang, they show quite a bit of difference in size. Where other ones are, just a hair off one way or the other. This one is. It was painted with Tamiya rattle can. The paint job came out really good. It's just, I did pick up some dirt in it, and back then I wasn't wet sanding or anything. So I probably will, even though now I've grown to the color, I've got the can put up, I will probably repaint it again this color. I will decant it and spray it through my airbrush. But primarily all I'm going to do is wet sand down. Decals are on the surface. I didn't bury them under clear coat. This car has, I think, one coat of Tamiya clear over it. It was like what little bit I had left in the can. It was just enough to hit the body. So it won't be hard to remove the decals, but I do want the exact same decals back on it. Just for the fact that, and you'll see here in a minute, because everything kind of goes together really well, in my opinion. And then I made a big mistake at the end. I painted the hood flat black, which is fine. But I forgot to paint up here on the cowl. And so I taped it off. I didn't have any more flat black. So I wanted to get it done, so I brush painted it, and it looks like crap. So that's why I said this one is another one that is in line for restore. The best thing about this one is I just got to sand the areas and get the decals off, or try to remove them, and then wet sand the body down really good, because there's no really huge flaws in the body or anything like that, and just kind of pop everything loose. I did kind of scratch build the grill. If you can see, it's just a piece of screen. It wasn't as fine mesh as I wanted. Now I've got the fine mesh stuff to use, so I will redo that, redo the fog lights, but they will be in blue. The real car had blue fog lights, and I think it was painted that Ford light blue, like this on the newer Mustangs, Hugger blue or whatever it's called. And I couldn't find that at the time, so the can showed it being light blue, but it's more like a lavender color. We'll turn it around so you get a better look. This camera, for some reason, boom, see, we get a better quality this way. Like I said, it's Mach 1. Like I said, I've grown to like this. So the only thing I'm going to do is wet sand the body down, get rid of this black. I'll reprime it, and then when I go to paint, I'll mask off and airbrush the black so it all looks smooth. You can kind of see the roughness of brush painting. Even though it was all in one direction of strokes, it was still just horrible. The color doesn't match. It's just a mess. But the striping has a gold stripe down the center, and then it says Mach 1. The tires and wheels are Aoshima aftermarket. They are 19s, I believe. I can't remember the style, but they're really popular. And I mean, they fit with no issues. The only thing holding the body on right now is the heater hoses underneath the hood, and you'll see that in a second. Underneath, it's got the chin spoiler, which I really love, especially on a Mustang on a Mach 1. That one, I believe, I'm not mistaken, yes, that is one of mine. I scratch made that spoiler to fit underneath there. That was kind of like my first scratch built piece in a long time. And all I did was lay the car down, the body down on a piece of styrene, flat styrene, and then took my pencil and went around the shape of the body. And then I measured from the front to the back how long I wanted it, or how wide. And then I measured it, on both ends and in the center, and I squared it off. And then I just started taking a file to it and shaping it. So my focal points were both corners of the bumper right here, right where they meet the end of the headlight bezel. So I wanted everything to kind of start and stop there. So if you look underneath, you can see I achieved that pretty well. I mean, I went a little bit past, only because the curve of this right here, the fender, I wanted to be right on the edge of the fender. So it took it a little, I had to go from that little focal point there a little further. So there's a couple trial and errors, but I got it. And then, overall look, it looks really good. I could have probably angled it a little bit more, and I may, when I go to separate everything. I've lost both the mirrors, but I do have extra ones, so those will get put back on. The glass will get repolished out. You can see in there, it's got the factory seat belts on the driver's side and the passenger side there. Those are just styrene in the kit. Just detail painted them. Detail painted the dash. I added a tachometer. I can't remember if that came in the kit or not. That may be, I can't remember. And then, it's got the gauges underneath the steering wheel. So, I can't remember what all that is. I may have added some of that just to be different. But, it was a fun build. The roll cage came with the kit. It looks really good in there. Like I said, the glass, I got to clean it up because I did get a little glue, squeeze out right there. But putting it all together, the tires and wheels, though, really good. I did run the fuel line from the tank. And I will keep that. I will just change. Is that an actual fitting? No, it's a bead. One of those little jewelry beads I painted. So I'll replace that with an anodized fitting, or an AN fitting. And it runs up and goes into the frame, and then it would travel through, and it comes out of the frame up to the fuel pump. can see down in there. There it is. And then, of course, it travels up from the fuel pump up to the carburetor. All that will remain. The wire's fine for that. I'm not unhappy with that. You know, detail painted everything. I'll kind of leave that. The only thing I will change is, I think this exhaust is molded in, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, it's not. I will pop these loose, and I will heat this pipe right about here, and I'll bend it at a 90 and bring it out through the back of the leaf spring. I will trim, instead of this being on an angle, I will trim that straight back, and I'll bring the exhaust and match it up to the tailpipes coming through the rear valance. I drilled those out myself. They weren't that way in the kit. And then, you know, complete the exhaust the way it should have been, and wasn't aware of how to do it then, but I am now. And even those tiny letters, it got a little sloppy on the N, it looks like, a little bit on the G and the U. So, you know, I'll probably, even though I hate it, I'll probably bare metal foil those next time, because they are pretty prominent and would be easy to do. Taillights were great. Rear bumper fit really good. The glass, you know, for an old AMT kit, it went together very well. The only thing, second issue I had, was the little pegs that are on the side of the fenders to hold the hood. I will probably run a flat piece of styrene from the firewall up to the core support right here and beyond. I should say to about the end of the fender, to hold that hood flat, because it teeters. Because I cut one of those off thinking they were part of the sprue. I want, you know, that was my mistake. But they're, you know, I went with orange plug wires, and it would just seem different. The aftermarket coil. So all that'll remain. I used the beads and painted them black for the plug, or the looms, and I like that look. It looked, you know, really good. It just needs to be cleaned up a little bit, and I'll redo the fuel line from the carburetor down to the fuel pump, and I'll put a fuel filter on it this time, and I'll get rid of these. These are hard wire, and it was hard to bend and manipulate. I should have never done it, but I did. So I'll take those out and replace those with rubber hoses, and never did get a radiator hose, so I'll get the radiator hoses put in it. May run a MSD box over here, you know, down to the distributor. I did wire the battery. The negative wire has fallen off, or got knocked off. The cap is chrome. I don't like that, so I will change that too. But so the only thing I'm really waiting for to do on this is just a little downtime. You know, I've only got two that I'd really want to redo, just because I like the kit so much and it was fun to build. And like I said, you can see it's, the only thing that's holding it are those two heater hoses. You know, I'll clip those off, get it off, strip the body down. But I really like this kit. I put a lot of time as far as research into it. You know, on the way I wanted it to look. Like I said, the 1-to-1 didn't really have these wheels. But then when I started, I bought like 3 or 4 sets at that time. And like 2 of them were the actual wheels that were on the car. But I didn't know, I guess I didn't have enough experience at the time to know how to manipulate this enough to make those work. I think I still have them put up. So, but again, you know, I've really grown, you know, it's grown on me. I like that look. I like those wheels, the way they sit in there. I like the striping. So you know, I have to track down a new decal set somehow. Or maybe chances are the tape would probably pull them off. Maybe I may shoot a coat of clear down over the decals. Let that cure out. And across the back where it says Mach 1, because I really love that detail. And clear those areas, because there's no dirt or debris in those areas on either side. And then run a piece of tape. I have tape that wide so it'd cover it. Run tape over that and just wet sand everything down. And respray. And then come back and clear. I can remove my tape and re-clear the whole body. and lock those decals down in there. And I got them nice and straight. Like I said, it's a crapshoot with me on decals. I either get them nice and straight, or they're freaking crooked or messed up, or they start tearing on me, and I try to piece them back together. So, but on this one, they went down really good. And the only decals were like right up here on the sides of the quarters, the one across the rear tail, and then down the sides. You know, other than that, there was no decals. I do have an abundance of decals, so I may add, you know, something on the hood, staging the engine side, you know, down the side of the scoop. I don't know, but I definitely want to kind of, you know, not restore, but redo just the body. So I am happy with the interior. I don't want to get into a lot on it. I just want to pop the body off, replace what's there. Even though it's a reminder of where I started, I have plenty of these that I've done to remind me. This one, I just kind of, I want to preserve it, make it nicer, and I probably will take this one around to some shows once I get it, you know, a few things redone on it and get a better quality paint job down on it and some nice clear. It's got some nice shine to it just for one coat of Tamiya clear. Yeah, there you go. You see a little bit of the shine. It's never been wet sanded out or polished out or anything like that, so it's just got some flubs in it, and you know, it's just what I call beginner flubs. And really, I wasn't a beginner. I was just getting back into the hobby and wasn't aware of all the products that were out there, and limited money at the time, and stuff like that. But you know, let me know what you think about it. Like I said, I'm not dedicated to one brand of car. I'm a big lover of Mustangs. I'm a big lover of Camaros, Trans Ams. You know, there's always been a special place in my heart for the older Mopars. And you know, and Corvettes have always been number one for, you know, some freaking strange reason. But I love Corvettes. And it doesn't matter to me on those if they're new or old. As were like the Dodge Charger, I don't like them because, you know, Corvette didn't come out with a freaking four-door. It was a sports car from the beginning. It was a hot rod sports car, and they kept true to at least the nature of the car. I mean, they did make some changes I don't like so much, but you know, that is what it is. So, enough rambling on about that. I went to therapy today. Had a good session. My leg feels pretty good. You know what? We're going to do it this way. I'm not dragging everything over here. So, I'm going to turn you around. I want you guys to see this. This is the Tropical Glitz RTS Ready to Spray Abyss Black. So, I've been told this is the darkest pigmented black in the world that you can get. And I'll tell you what, between that new primer that Mark sent me and that paint, that's no clear coat, guys. That's just spray, and it's got that shine. I mean, it's just cured out. So, can you imagine once I wet sand this down? I mean, it is, I can get up on there and show you how smooth that paint is. And there's some dimples I didn't see in the prep. But like I said, this isn't, you know, a showpiece. You know, I would have puttied those in if I had seen them. And I'm not going to go back through and strip it down. It's too nice of a paint job. And I got just minute little, what I call junk, dust in it. You can kind of see on the roof of the car. You know, there's a little speck. No, that's dust. No, there is a little speck right there. A little speck over here. There's a couple tiny little specks, but those are all wet sand out. Beautiful. But look at that shine. I mean, you can see me in the phone just in the spray. You couldn't ask for better paint to lay down the way it did. That's 5 coats of paint. It was like 4 coats of primer, 5 coats of paint. I didn't lose any of my detail. And it's not real prominent. I mean, it's there, but it's not, you know, that's going to be a bitch to chrome. But, you know, we'll get it. I did get the interior painted red. I did start, it's kind of like a first coat. I should have waited a little bit, but it's stainless steel. So this will be all the red. It'll be stainless steel for the center. And I'm going by OEM colors as far as the way the color split. Now, it wouldn't have been stainless steel. It would have been like a chrome or a variation of other colors. I picked stainless steel just to stay within my theme. You know, and there's the door panels painted black. I do have to do some touch up because my tape apparently was not pushed down. So I'll mask everything off again and just respray the top of the door panel. But you know, the back, nice clean lines. Underneath, nice clean lines. I got a hair of overspray right there, but it's going down the bottom. You'll never see it, so I'm not worried about it. But you know, and even with all that paint, the door is open perfect. You know, and you can see that shine everywhere. I mean, it's, and the best thing about that is airbrushing. All those little holes that you could see after I drilled them, they're a lot less visible now too for running the wires. But yeah, my God, the paint. If everything goes good and I don't pick up a lot of junk in the wet sanding, so I'm going to have to go slow when I go to clear coat. I'll do my tack coat. I'll check it. If I get any junk in it at that time, I'll stop. That way I can wet sand it out. Come back, put another coat on, you know, and take it step by step. That way we end up with a really nice, you know, paint job on the car. The seats, these are my 3D printed ones, the racing seats I call them. I modified them by shaving the sides where they really stuck out far and kind of humped. I shaved them down just by going by this detail here on the side. You know, round them off. I filed them down, then finished sanding them. I taped them off. The rails get painted, you know, like an not aluminum, but a steel color. And, you know, I got a couple little touch-up spots. So I see one right here. But, you know, nothing major. But, yeah, you know, the color red turned out really nice with that black. You know, it kind of highlights the shadowed areas really nice. And like I said, you know, those lines you can get out, guys. It's just, and these were printed on a 30-degree angle. It might have been 35-degree. So it's a lot less visible lines, especially once you prime. You get up close like that, you can start to see some of the lines from the printing. I may change that around a little bit, maybe angle it down and do a test print again. But once they're painted, I mean, you really can't even see it. They look good. The dash. So all the interior pieces are painted, other than the final, you know, little detail stuff. Got the roll cage painted. It was painted stainless steel. And I got my brackets on there for the seat belts. Valve covers are painted. I do have to touch up the white lines in the 572 a little bit. I got the MSD painted on the, where'd it go? So damn small. There it is. I need to touch that up just a hair. I did do some black washing on the headers just to make them stand out. They look really good. Yeah, that's that was the kit starter, so that's starters for 409, but it fit in there beautifully. So we're going with it. The oil filter's painted. Everything's been black washed. The engine's ready to go, other than the plug wires, which will be the next step. I get the valve covers on it, get my plug wires ran. I'll do my drilling for the fuel lines and the linkages, and get that all done. So we'll have the detail done on that. I may do a little video just on that, on how I do it. Like I said, the rotors are ready. I do have to make spacers to go, because these are bigger round. I think I showed you before, you know, than the stem that's on the back of the wheel. So I'll paint the sleeve black and put that in there, and that'll hold that rotor like it's supposed to be. And that's pretty much it. I did get the seat belts done for the ramp truck. They're all cut. They're ready to be installed, and then I can put the other side panel on it, the dashboard in, and the interior will be done for the ramp truck. Yesterday I got my bare metal foil. It ought to be called bare junk, in my opinion. I know there's better stuff out there, guys. I just haven't gotten any of it yet, but I want to try it. And I think it's a Hasegawa, if I said that right. chrome, and it's better because you're, for like 12 or 13 bucks, whatever it is, 15 bucks, you're getting like 5 sheets. So I mean, Jesus Christ, that's a value. And if it works as good as what some people are saying it is, I've seen some people say it wasn't that good, but then I go back through and I look at their past builds and everything else, and their to me, their application of it is not proper, and that could be one thing. A lot of times it's human error, and then we get frustrated and we deter away from ever using it again. I'm like that to a degree on certain things. If I know there's something else available, I will just leave it alone and move on. Bare metal foil, the biggest problem I have with bare metal foil is a lot of times it doesn't want to stick, or after you've burnished it all out and you've gone through all that mess, then it wants to pull away in areas it shouldn't be. It's a nightmare. It's a great look if you get it to go down right, and I've had great success with it, and I've had great failure with it. So, I'm on the fence. So I'm at the point where I'm ready to try something different. Because the Molotov pen is a quick solution, but it can get sloppy. As you saw on the Charger, that was the only part of the Charger commission build that I did not like, was getting around the fenders with the chrome pen, because then it bleeds off in spots, and then I came back and tried to touch up, and I had to stop because it was making it a lot worse, and I still got to go back through and I got to do some cleanup on it, because I saw on real close up that there was a lot of crap that I don't like on it that I'm going to try to fix. And the best thing about going over top of it, I can use mineral spirits and rub it away and not hurt my finish on the paint, and then I'm going to redo it to get it cleaned up a little bit, the edges anyways. Everything else I was happy with as far as the way the chrome went down on the car, just those fender wells, and so I'm going to fix that probably this weekend. I'm meeting Jay Monday to deliver the commission build. He's still not able to drive a far distance, and we're about 2 hours away from each other. We meet halfway, so it's about a 45-minute to an hour drive for me, same for him, which is fair. And then when he's able, he's going to come down to the shop. We'll do a video together and show you what he's bringing me. So, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. 3D printing update. This morning I cleaned the cleaning station out real good. I got a new gallon of, went up from 91% to 99% isopropyl alcohol. So I'm hoping that'll make a little difference in it. And fresh alcohol, of course, the prints will be a lot cleaner. I won't get that white residue on them. And that's all it is. That stuff does wash off. So if you've gotten anything from me and you see it's got white stuff on, don't worry about it, guys. It does wash off. Just a little Dawn dish soap and a soft toothbrush. Just scrub everything real good, rinse it, scrub it again until you get it off. It comes off fairly easy. That engine for that had it all over it. It washed off. I didn't have a bit of problem. And it doesn't react with anything you go to do to it as far as primer or paint. So there's nothing to worry about. It's just a residue from once I wash it in the alcohol and then go to cure it. The residue sticks to it and you just got to wash it off. I'm going to work later today on some new files. I'm going to bring out probably 3 of Ryan Jones's wheels. I'm going to probably do a truck set and a couple car sets. And then I'll do some test prints on those. If they run good, then those will be available through me. Same prices. Like I said, you may save a couple dollars being shipping. But the wheel sets they're standard. They're $20 a set. That covers all my fees that I have to pay, the material that I will be using to produce those, and then just depending on where you're at, it'll be between probably $5 to $7 tops for shipping. They'll be shipped in a lightweight bubble package, so I save a lot of weight from being in a box or anything heavier. So that's the key, is when you ship something, having a light material and a light packing material that keeps the weight down. That brings the price down a little bit on shipping, which is a value to everybody. But I'll keep you posted on those wheels. My stuff, I got to print McGill's stuff, so I'll probably do a print today, another print, and see how everything turns out, and I'll be able to show you guys I'm going to mock up a 572, so we'll be able to put all of his intakes on there, and you'll get a good look at how they look. And then you'll be able to go to his website, if you haven't already, and pick you up some stuff. They're not expensive stuff, guys. It's that intake will fit down on a 396. It'll fit on a 427, a 454. It may fit on a 409. So you guys that like to get creative, like modeling with Glenn. I mean, he mixes it up all the time, and that stuff's really cool because it's your vision, your imagination, and what you what you do with what you have in front of you. It doesn't have to be specifically correct every single time. It's the imagination you put into your build. The only thing I don't agree with is putting a Ford engine in a Chevy and vice versa, because there's so many options for both that you really don't need to. You don't really need to do it. And guys do it in real life. I mean, these LS swappers, they're putting LSs down in everything. Okay. I mean, I guess that's the competitive part of it, and I slightly get that. I still think, there's too many other options out there. These new Coyote engines, man, they're just as high horsepower, as these Chevy LSs. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. All right, guys, we're at 31 minutes. I just want to try to stay at 25. I'm trying to narrow it down each time. Again, thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave your comments if you want to talk about something specific. Drop me an email, and I'll communicate that way. Tell your friends and everybody. Come by, stop, watch a video, drop me a sub. We get up to that 1,000, we get that giveaway going. We're struggling right now a little bit on subs. I'm gaining. I guess probably about 10 to 12 a week, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's better than none, and it's a lot more than some. So I'm content with that. But I'm just, maybe as you guys are, I'm just excited for this giveaway, because there's going to be a lot involved in it. All three prizes are going to be great. I mean, you're not going wrong, for all the three. But as we get closer, the rules, the stipulations, the actual prizes, that will be more, known to you guys. So, the faster we get up there, the faster it happens. I'm still torn on a kit. I have one in mind that I think would be fairly easy to build, and would look really cool. With some imagination put into it, and then everything the first place is going to get, you've got all that great stuff to go crazy with it. And even if you're a first timer, it's things that by watching a few videos you should get the hang of it pretty quick. So all that being said, we'll see you on Friday. You guys have a great rest of your week. Get some modeling in. Even email. Send me some pictures of your build that you're working on at the time, and any questions you might have with it. I'll be glad to help and answer in any way I can. So, till Friday, guys. This is Rusty Rotor. I'm out.